The promise to fight corruption is another area which attracted Nigerians during the 2015 campaign. 3 years on, there's been some celebrated cases as well as criticism on the approach of the federal government.
I think the government has had a lot of strides and a lot of accolades thus far. It is obvious that, or it's apparent to the average citizen that the government has reduced the elaborate nature or the elaborate funfair that a lot of corrupt officials were applauded for.
Well, I think that in the last 3 years, we have seen some display of intention to fight corruption. And I think when the administration first came, people sat up. People were thinking, oh, there's an initiative in town, oh, there'll be a fight against corruption. But after some time, people started to see the gaps in terms of promises and deliveries. And I think if you read the papers today, you'll have seen a special investigator employed to trace assets of corruption abroad, saying that he was disengaged because he refused to fight only opposition candidates, people. And that's to tell you that really we have seen more of propaganda, selective fight against corruption, and a kind of a war that's not well thought out.
Mr. Odumakin's opinion has reverberated in many quarters and has gotten to the ears of the president. He recently responded to the issues raised.
Corruption is not an easy one to fight because it affects so many different branches of our lives. So much that some people do not even consider breaking trust is anymore a crime. It has become the norm. That is why we must fight this attitude and encourage Nigerians to change their attitudes and perspectives. The goal of this administration is to ensure the protection of public trust, and the anti-corruption war is its center. We never intended, and we are not engaged in witch hunting, but we are determined within the laws to call people to account. It is my hope and expectation that the judiciary, which is a critical stakeholder and partner in the war against corruption, would continue to collaborate with the executive to bring corrupt people to book.
The present administration was also saddled with the challenge of insecurity, especially in the northeastern parts of the country, where Boko Haram had invaded parts of the state. Many Nigerians agree that a level of success has been recorded in this area, although this does not signal the end of insecurity challenge in the country.
We've been able to, bring up the situation in Borno Street from what it was to what it is. There was a recovery stage, stabilization stage, by sacking all those bandits, they call insurgents, off our territory and removing their flags from villages. Having done that, that was like stabilizing. Then we were able to restore some measure of confidence in people, and people went back home. But beyond that, I don't think we've done much more. There is still recurrence. There are still things that have happened before happening. Take, for example, the issue of the Dapchi girls. The issue of the Dapchi girls simply meant there were no lessons learned from the issue of the Chibok girls. We should have had lessons learned, what you can call process assets. What exactly happened? How did the Chibok girls get stolen? How did the Chibok girls get, how do I say it now? Is it stolen or kidnapped now? I don't even know. But how did it even happen? What were those areas that were exploited by these insurgents to make the Chibok saga a success? And what can we do about those areas so that we don't see a reoccurrence? And having done that, what do we begin to do from what we have learned to similar areas that have similar, what you call peculiarities with government girls secondary school Chibok?